So today I want to go and talk about pillows. Now I get so many questions about what pillow should I get. There's so many different types, whether it be ergonomic pillow, there's orthopedic pillows, there's Tempur-Pedic pillows, there's so many different types of pillows, and so many patients come to me and ask me, Doc, what type of pillow should I get? And the real answer is it really just depends on you. There's so many different types of structures within the neck, whether it be you have that normal neutral curve, you have a flat curve in the neck, but then some people actually have a reverse curve. So it's kind of hard to give like a generic type of answer for you, but really when it comes down to it, it really is just something that's going to support your neck in general. The other issue that I oftentimes deal with is when patients actually have what's called a hyperkyphosis, is where their mid-back, it actually hunches over too much and it becomes very stiff. So when you actually lay down, it's going to be hard for your head to actually come back against the actual pillow. So sometimes people might need a little bit thicker pillow. Now, a rule of thumb that I oftentimes try to give is you want something that will help to support your neck. It doesn't have to be necessarily one of those pillows that have like curves within it, but it just has to support your neck. It might shape it into it, it might mold into it, but it does have to support your neck. The other thing is too, is if you do have that kyphosis where you're hunching over, if your head can't come back against the bed or the mattress, you do want a pillow that's a little bit thicker that will actually help to support that as well. The other rule that I typically give generally is that you want to have something that's going to help to keep your spine in a neutral posture. So if you're sleeping on your back, ideally you want your shoulders to be in line with your ears. So you want this to kind of come back and allow your neck to be more of a neutral position where your ears are over your shoulders and basically your shoulders are in line with your hips. So just when you're standing, that's the same type of posture you want when you're actually laying down, is that you want a neutral posture. So you don't want something that's going to be pushing your head forward and causing your neck to bend forward like this. So if you sleep with multiple pillows, whether it be one pillow that's really thick or two pillows, and it causes your head to shift forward, you don't want that either. So you want your head to kind of be in a neutral posture where your ears are just over your shoulders and you're in line with your spine here. Now if you do sleep on your side, you don't want your head to be tilting down like this. You don't want the pillow to also be too thick to where it's pushing your head over. You want to keep in mind that you want your forehead, your nose, your chin, and your sternum to be in line. You want a nice neutral posture there. So I'm just going to give you a quick demonstration. I actually have two different size pillows. One's a bit thinner and then one is a bit thicker here. So, and the reason why is because when I sleep on my side, I typically want to sleep on a thicker pillow. When I sleep on my back, I typically want to sleep with a thinner pillow. And again, it's because I don't want the pillow to push my head forward. I want that to allow my head to rock back while it's supporting my neck here. There are some people that honestly, they just don't even sleep with the pillow because the mattress is cushioned enough. It doesn't give as much support with your neck, but it is something that I know that some people do as well. So you just want something that is going to be nice and comfortable for you. Now, let me go ahead and transition scenes here. So when you're laying on your back, you want your ears to be over your shoulders and you want your head to be in a nice neutral position. What you don't want is a pillow that's going to push your head forward. So if you're sleeping with a very thick pillow and you're sleeping like this, you'll see that my neck is kinked right here, and that's going to put a lot of strain onto the joints. So if you're sleeping like this over maybe, I don't know, even 8 hours, 10 hours, 6 hours, however many hours you tend to sleep, it oftentimes will put strain onto your neck. Now, it might feel comfortable for a little bit, and over the years you might get used to it, but when it comes down to it, if you're straining your neck like this, you're going to start to reshaping it over time, and you're going to start to stretch the back ligaments, and you're going to shorten the front ligaments, and it's going to cause your head to jut forward over the years. Now, again, some people have very stiff mid-backs, and it's going to be hard for their head to go back, so oftentimes if you have a thin pillow, and your head's trying to go back, it's going to be uncomfortable because you have such a stiffness in your lower back or your mid back. You're going to have to go like this, and it's going to be very uncomfortable. So for you, it might be better to actually have more of a thicker pillow and just something that will support you while you actually have your mid back, trying to stretch that out over the years. But you're going to need to do some work in terms of rehab and stretching so you can start getting a thinner pillow. So for me, I generally use a thinner pillow when I'm on my back, and it just helps to support my neck, as well as it keeps my head in neutral position, and that's what you typically want, something that supports your curve in the neck, but then also that just kind of gives you a little more cushion for your head here. So if I transition and I move over to my side, what I typically want is a little bit of a thicker pillow. Now I typically will relax my arm underneath my head, and this will just allow me to keep my spine in neutral here. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll actually use the thinner pillow, and with that I use my arm to pick me up a little bit, so then that way I actually have that nice neutral posture here. Now it's going to be depending on every single person. Everyone's a little bit different, but oftentimes I'm okay with the thinner pillow and just resting my arm underneath my pillow, and that will lift up my head a little bit more just to keep my spine in that neutral position. So again, my forehead, my nose, my chin, and my sternum, it should be in a nice neutral posture here. Now let me go ahead and switch scenes again. Now when it comes down to the pillow for the legs, a lot of times people will recommend that the pillow be between both of their knees here. You can do that if you feel comfortable. It's supposed to help to support your pelvis, so then that way if you're not using a pillow, your pelvis isn't twisting here and it's not going to put strain on your lower back. But typically what I like to recommend is keeping the bottom leg straight and keeping the top one bent, and then you're just going to go ahead, instead of putting the pillow between the knees, you're just going to keep that bottom leg straight and the top one bent, and then that's going to help you to have more of a neutral posture. What I found through experience, when patients sleep with the pillows between their knees, what it actually does is it actually puts stress onto the back joints in their back, and that can cause aggravation and cause some discomfort for the patient. So I typically will recommend keeping the bottom leg straight and then just bending the top leg, so then that way your pelvis is in neutral position, and it's taking off a lot of that stress off of the joints, and it prevents your pelvis from twisting, and it's going to take off a lot of the strain off of the lower back. So that's pretty much it when it comes down to sleeping postures, is keeping your spine in more of a neutral posture or a neutral position, putting less stress on your lower back by putting a little bit of a comfort or a body pillow in between your legs, in terms of not just between your knees, but in terms of the bottom leg being straight, the top one being bent. And then when you do sleep on your back, you don't want something that's going to push your head forward here as well. You want to keep it nice and neutral here. So I hope that helped you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you on the next video. Peace.